In this video, we will learn about the chapter Print Culture and the Modern World. Let's start by learning about the first printed books. Print technology, originating in China, Japan, and Korea, began with hand printing using inked wood blocks. Initially dominated by the imperial state for civil service exams, print diversified as urban culture grew, catering to a wider readership including women. Western printing techniques arrived in the late 19th century, leading to a shift from hand printing to mechanical printing, particularly in urban centers like Shanghai. What about print in Japan? Buddhist missionaries introduced hand printing to Japan around AD 768 to 770. The oldest Japanese book, the AD 868 Diamond Sutra, featured woodcut illustrations. Visual printing expanded to textiles, playing cards, and money. In medieval Japan, books were plentiful and cheap, covering various topics. In the late 18th century, Edo, Tokyo, saw illustrated collections reflecting urban culture. Hand-printed materials filled libraries, covering subjects like women and the tea ceremony. And then, print comes to Europe. Silk and spices from China reached Europe via the Silk Route. Chinese paper arrived in Europe in the 11th century, enabling manuscript production. Marco Polo introduced woodblock printing to Europe in 1295. Woodblock printed books spread across Europe, offering a cheaper alternative to manuscripts. Johann Gutenberg developed the first printing press in Strasbourg, Germany, in the 1430s, revolutionizing printing. Let's learn more about Gutenberg and the printing press. Gutenberg, son of a merchant, adapted wine and olive presses to create the printing press. He perfected his system by 1448, printing the Bible in about 3 years. Printed books initially resembled handwritten manuscripts. Printing presses spread across Europe, boosting book production. This shift to mechanical printing led to the print revolution. Now, let's learn about the print revolution and its impact. There emerged a new reading public. The printing press revolutionized book accessibility, fostering a new reading public. Before its advent, reading was a privilege of the elite, while oral culture prevailed among commoners. Publishers adapted by producing books appealing to both literate and illiterate audiences, often with illustrations. This fusion of oral and print cultures blurred distinctions between hearing and reading audiences. As books became more accessible, literacy rates gradually improved. The transition to a reading culture, however, was not immediate, requiring time and effort to persuade the masses of the benefits of printed materials. Nonetheless, the printing press marked a pivotal shift towards democratizing knowledge and literature. There were religious debates and also the fear of print. Printing facilitated widespread dissemination of ideas and debates challenging authorities. Some feared the uncontrolled spread of printed material and its potential impact on public opinion. Martin Luther's 95 Theses, printed and circulated widely, ignited the Protestant Reformation. Luther's writings, amplified by the printing press, led to a significant division within the Church. Printing played a pivotal role in shaping religious history during the early modern period. Then what happened? Printing led to diverse religious interpretations, even among the less educated. Menocchio, a 16th century miller, developed controversial views on the Bible. His ideas angered the Roman Catholic Church, leading to his execution. The Church imposed strict controls on publishers and booksellers in response. An index of prohibited books was established in 1558 to suppress dissenting beliefs. Moving next. Literacy rates rose in Europe during the 17th and 18th centuries, with church schools spreading education to peasants and artisans. By the late 18th century, literacy rates reached 60 to 80% in some areas, sparking a demand for books. Printers met this demand with a variety of literature, including almanacs, ballads, and penny chapbooks. The periodical press emerged, combining current affairs with entertainment. Newspapers and journals provided information on wars, trade, and global developments. Scientific and philosophical ideas became more accessible through published texts and the writings of thinkers like Newton, Voltaire, and Rousseau. As a result, by the mid 18th century, books were seen as tools for spreading progress and enlightenment. Many believed books could liberate society from tyranny and promote reason. Novelist Louis Sébastien Mercier highlighted the printing press's power for progress. Characters in Mercier's novels are enlightened through reading. Mercier asserted print's ability to challenge tyranny and bring enlightenment. And what is the relation between print culture and the French Revolution? Historians debate whether print culture paved the way for the French Revolution. Three arguments suggest print's influence: dissemination of Enlightenment ideas, fostering a culture of dialogue, and circulating literature critical of monarchy. However, print's impact was indirect, as individuals interpreted and accepted ideas independently. While print opened possibilities for new thinking, its influence varied among readers. Now, let's see what happened in the 19th century. Compulsory education in the late 19th century increased child readership, driving demand for textbooks. A children's press in France from 1857 published new and traditional works, including fairy tales. The Grimm brothers compiled and edited folk tales in Germany for publication in 1812. Women became significant readers and writers, with penny magazines and manuals targeting them. 19th century lending libraries educated workers, fostering self-improvement and self-expression through writing. What were the further innovations? Printing technology evolved rapidly from the late 18th century onwards, with innovations like Richard M. Hose power-driven cylindrical press and the offset press in the 19th century. 20th century developments, like cheap paperback editions during the Great Depression, sustained book purchases. Now, let's talk about India and the world of print. There were manuscripts before the age of print. India had a tradition of handwritten manuscripts in various languages. Manuscripts were copied onto palm leaves or handmade paper and often illustrated. Despite the introduction of print, manuscript production continued until the late 19th century. Manuscripts were expensive, fragile, and difficult to read due to different script styles. In pre-colonial Bengal, village schools focused on teaching writing rather than reading, resulting in literacy without actual reading. Then, print comes to India. The printing press arrived in Goa in the mid-16th century with Portuguese missionaries, leading to the printing of Konkani tracts by Jesuit priests. Tamil and Malayalam books were printed by Catholic priests in the late 16th and early 18th centuries, respectively. English language printing began later, with James Augustus Hickey founding the Bengal Gazette in 1780, independent of colonial influence. Hickey's publication faced persecution for publishing gossip about East India Company officials. By the late 18th century, several newspapers emerged, including Indian publications like the weekly Bengal Gazette by Gangadhar Bhattacharya, close to Ram Mohan Roy. There were religious reforms and public debates. In the early 19th century, colonial India witnessed intense religious debates through printed tracts and newspapers. Ram Mohan Roy's Sambad Kaumudi and the Hindu Orthodoxy's Samachar Chandrika represented opposing views in Bengal, alongside emerging Persian and Gujarati newspapers. In North India, the ulama used lithographic presses to print religious texts in Persian and Urdu to counter colonial anxieties. Hindus also printed religious texts, with Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas appearing in 1810 and cheap lithographic editions becoming widespread. Print made religious texts accessible, fostering discussions within and among different religious communities, while newspapers facilitated the exchange of news, contributing to pan-Indian identities. What were the new forms of publication? Printing in colonial India spurred demand for novels reflecting daily life. Indian-style novels diversified perspectives for readers. New literary forms like lyrics and short stories gained popularity. Printing facilitated a visual culture, shaped by artists like Raja Ravi Verma. Cheap prints and calendars influenced perceptions of modernity and tradition. By the 1870s, caricatures in publications critiqued societal and political issues. Now, let's talk about women and print. Women's literacy rose in liberal households despite conservative barriers. Rebel women, like Rajsundari Devi, defied norms to learn and write. Authors like Kailash Bashini Devi highlighted women's struggles. Women's journals and books tackled education, widowhood, and social reform. Hindi printing surged from the 1870s, focusing on women's education. Popular book markets like Batala in Bengal offered diverse reading options for women. What about the poor people? In the 19th century, cheap books appeared in Madras, sold at crossroads. Early 20th century public libraries expanded book access, mainly in urban and prosperous village areas. Wealthy patrons established libraries for prestige. Phule, Ambedkar, and Periyar wrote on caste discrimination, igniting debate. Local movements critiqued ancient scriptures and promoted social justice. Workers like Kashibaba and Sudarshan Chakra addressed caste and class issues. Bangalore millworkers set up libraries for self-education and reform, supported by social reformers. Lastly, let's see print and censorship. Pre-1798, East India Company targeted English critics of its rule in India to prevent criticism reaching England. By the 1820s, Calcutta Supreme Court introduced press regulations. Benting's 1835 revisions restored press freedoms. Post-1857, the government started controlling the press more. In 1878, they passed the Vernacular Press Act to keep a check. However, nationalist newspapers kept emerging despite this. This led to a cycle of crackdowns and protests, like when Tilak was imprisoned in 1908. Now, here's a secret on how you can study effectively with the EduRev app. You can learn with chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve NCERT-based MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for Class 10 and much more for your Class 10 preparation. Thank you.